Trike Patrol fans? Once again, we are back. Thank you for tuning into the official Trike Patrol podcast, and it's your host, Mr. C. So hope everyone's doing really well. We are back at it with another podcast interview. So for today's podcast interview, or this week's update, we have the beautiful Shaye Sun Juan. So a little bit about her. I've been following her for quite some time on X from TP's account, and actually all of our accounts, I believe. Just a stunning Filipina with a big rack, big poet, all you can ask for. And the goal was always to try to get her on TP, but after talking to her, she focuses on solos and I think privates and customs, whatever. But anyways, it was still nice to have her on the podcast. She's very supportive of us on social media. We retweet one another or like one another's post. It was an honor to talk to her again. I've been following her for quite some time. I love her content on Instagram. I love all her content on X. Just a beautiful Filipina. So it was a lot of fun talking to her and finally getting to actually interview her for the podcast. So I hope everyone's been enjoying all the recent podcast episodes. We finally got another one in with Rose Vega from 90 Day Fiancé, which was a great interview. I honestly enjoyed every second of it. I'm quite the fan of hers. I've watched 90 Day Fiancé many times, mini series or seasons. So it was just an honor. And again, shout out to her manager for getting everything booked and done. Super professional, great people. So that was a lot of fun. I hope you guys are enjoying that. So before we get into today's podcast interview, let's talk a little bit about what's happening at the Globetrotters studio. So here at TP this Friday, we're just dropping an amazing scene, guys. There's just some scenes when I'm getting everything ready and I look at it and I just know that everyone's going to love it. It's going to be a hot scene. This might be another top 5 of the year here at TrikePatrol.com. It's going to be hard to beat Snow. It's going to be hard to beat Bubbles. It's going to be a little hard to beat Stella, Angel. We're just dropping fire all year long here at TrikePatrol.com. Great year. Please become a member if you're not. You're going to love all our scenes over at TrikePatrol.com. I do hope that eventually we get some U.S. shot scenes again. For argument's sake, I believe a lot of our fans, a lot of you guys prefer the scenes from the Philippines, but honestly, I do love sprinkling in some Filipino American scenes. I honestly love Filipino Americans, but we're actually, I'm looking at the scheduled content for the entire year, and it's just a bunch of scenes shot in the Philippines, and that's what made TrikePatrol.com great, right? So 3-wheel trike, kinky Filipinas from all over the Philippines. That's what Trike Patrol is all about. But of course, in the recent 10 years, we've kind of sprinkled in some scenes from out here in the States, but. So be on the lookout this Friday for Mina. Amazing scene, beautiful model, just railed by a massive BWC. Where can you go wrong with this? So be on the lookout, guys. I know I posted something on Instagram. So that's going to be it if you guys do follow us on Instagram. However, TP is on its 3rd account. TP just grows too damn fast on Instagram. So with that being said, of course, there's going to be a shitload of haters. It is what it is. Just going to start a new one. You can't do anything about it, right? All you can do is just start over. That's kind of what we did with the YouTube channel, and the second channel is just doing amazing. We're talking about 4.5 million views in the last 30 days. We're already well over the subscribers we had on the recent account channel, and it's only been since March. So we're like at 11.5 thousand subscribers already on YouTube. So I'm putting a lot of time and effort into that. Eventually we're going to have TTP and ASD up on there. We do have MILF Trip on YouTube, so I'll be publishing more content soon. So we're just having a great time here at Globetrotters. Great year. Talk about a great year. So over at TTP, we just dropped a scene of Ariela, and I must say, just an amazing tie rack, beautiful face, hungry for cock. You just can't go wrong. Next scene is going to be a FAI, F-A-I. So please check out TTP. Before Ariela was Kima and Lima. So if you like threesomes, this is the scene for you. Before that was Ayomi, or Emmy, as she is named in this scene. And this was a threesome, but with 2 other dudes, I believe, with Ayemi. Great scene. And before that, I do got to mention Look Me. I've always bragged about her. She was the first scene, I think, of last year in January for TTP, and when I saw it, I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, let me talk about a fucking Thai ass. Biggest Thai ass I've ever seen. Probably the biggest Thai ass on the internet. please check it out. Like I always said, if you can find a bigger Thai ass on the web, I will give you a free TTP 1 month membership because I know it's impossible. I mean, there's no bigger Thai ass than Look Me's. So at MilfTrip.com, of course, I've mentioned many, many times that we finally dropped the scene of Katie Morgan. Katie Morgan is just a legendary MILF. She's definitely made a name for herself in the adult industry. We're just happy to have her on MILF Trip. And this Friday we have a scene with, I finally checked it out. I never heard of her before, but it looks like she's going to be a German model, or at least it was shot in Germany, but I checked it out a little bit just so I can tell you guys a little bit about this scene. Her name is going to be Eilex, so Eile or Eile X. Not really sure. I think it's a German name or a European name, so I don't know how we pronounce it in here in America. But I mean, let's just say stunning European. If you saw her at the park or at the mall or at the club, you would definitely want to get in her pants. She's a stunning model. She's all you can ask for. So if you like Germans or if you like Europeans, again, I'm not sure if she's German or if she was just shot in Germany, because I think even Mickey Muffin, I'm not sure. We featured her back in February. I'm not sure if she's even German. Obviously, as you guys know, Europe is kind of like the States, where you have all these, they have all these countries within the same area. But of course, like here in the States, we just have states. They have countries that are so close to one another, so it's easy to travel within Europe and from country to country. So over at ESD, please check it out if you love European babes, we just talked about European babes. But if it's your thing, Hello Lady Boy, and of course Asian Sex Diary, the thousands and thousands of the hottest Asian amateurs. There's also porn stars. There's also Europeans. There's also Africans from Madagascar, I think. So, and I know we have a lot of Indonesian fans, Malaysian fans. So if that's your thing, please check out ASD. I'm pretty sure there's no other site that has more Indonesians or Malaysians. Probably not even another site that has more Thai. Of course, if we're talking Filipinas, I'm pretty sure we have more Filipinas than ASD here at TrikePatrol.com. So please check out ASD if you just love Asians in general. If you like the amateurs that you won't find anywhere else, ASD is definitely the site for you. So let's get into this podcast interview. It's a great one. Again, shout out to Shaye Juan for coming here on the podcast. I really had a great time with her. So thank you for tuning into the official Trike Patrol podcast, and it's your host, Mr. C. All right, TP fans. So once again, we have a very special guest with us here today. We have Miss Shaye. Hello.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm very well. Thank you. How about you?
I'm having a great day. I mean, we've been following you for so many years over at Twitter, and then eventually when we got on Instagram, I saw you, and of course we followed you. And I remember first seeing you on Twitter. I remember seeing like Filipina stepmom. so I'm
Yeah.
like, so I'm like, who is this? Oh man, she's hot. And you had the Filipino flag, so I'm like, of course we have to follow. And I think I've reached out to you a couple times and tried to book you, but you had shared that you do mostly solos, and so. But I still love your content, and I must say,
Thank you.
over on Instagram, you make some of the most creative content that I've ever seen on Instagram. How do you come up with all these ideas?
That is exactly how my brain works. Like I'll see something and I will pop up an audio and then I start naming references and people like, how do you like live your life in meme? You know?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's very unique too. Like, obviously, you come up with these creative ideas yourself. So, and I really enjoy watching all your reels because I see them all the time. And of course, I always have to like them because it's just amazing content.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I am
So,
the memeing of life.
yeah, yeah. So great content. I adore watching it. And of course, you are hot as can be. So, it's a win-win, right?
Mhm.
So
Oh,
can you tell us a bit about yourself before? So you do OnlyFans, correct?
yes.
Just for the record. So what was life before OnlyFans?
Before, like, let's start from the beginning of time.
There you go. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm born and raised in San Diego. I'm obviously Filipino. I grew up like many Filipinos in an extremely Catholic household.
Yeah.
Went to private school, all that fun stuff. When I turned 18, I was like, I'm out of here,
Uh-huh.
and I went straight to the strip club and I did amateur night and I won. And I was like, hey, and they're like, you want to work here? I'm like, heck yeah, I do. And that's pretty much, I've been in the adult industry since I was 18.
Wow. Wow. So have you shot any VG scenes or hardcore scenes?
No.
Wow, always just stuck to like
Oh,
solos and
yeah, all my life.
wow, very interesting. So
Right.
when did you actually start doing OnlyFans?
I started March 2020, around
Wow.
pandemic time, like maybe right when the pandemic started.
Yeah, because I think we all went home and didn't go back to work, and I think it started like the second week of March. I remember it like it was yesterday, when the world kind of stopped.
Yeah, it was wild because, Vegas is a tourist town.
It is.
So, right when it was St. Patrick's Day, and they're like, okay, just kidding, shut down. And I'm like, that's the day the pools open in Vegas. So, I'm sure a lot of people booked a rather extensive stay. And, the whole town's like, okay, go home.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was wild. It was a ghost town out here.
Yeah, so I mean I love Vegas. There's a lot of talents out there. I mean, I was there probably like 7 times last year, meeting up some talents, doing some stuff for YouTube and interviews. So, yeah. So is it getting really hot yet? I remember last year you guys hit 120 during the summer.
Oh, I loved it that day. That was the best day of my life last year.
You actually enjoyed it?
I love the heat. I don't know if it's my Filipino blood, but
Must
the
be.
Islander in me, but I love it. That day I like went, I had no family here. It was just me by myself. My neighbors next door, the house was not occupied. It was like for sale for a year, and the house behind me. So I was walking around butt naked at like midnight watching Game of Thrones in my pool. I was like,
There
this
you go.
is my life.
That's how you live life, right? That's the way to
Yeah,
do it.
amazing.
So, what inspired you to start an OnlyFans account?
Ooh, it could be many things. I think a lot of it has to do with me craving being in the adult entertainment industry. I freaking love this industry. Like it's like it's in my veins. Like it makes my heart beat. I love it. Um it was part that, and also my husband at the time, he was a stand-up comedian, and obviously anyone that was, an entertainer on stage didn't have a place during COVID. We're just all misplaced. So I was like, you know what, let me do this because I know I can do well.
Yeah.
It's very familiar to me. And he was surprised. He was like, what?
I mean, you do really well in front of the camera. And like I said, your content is amazing and you're beautiful. So I mean, you have every tool that is needed to be successful in this industry, right? So why not?
Yeah, why not? It feels like home.
So did your family and friends finally find out what you do?
Well, my family already knew what I did in the very, very beginning when I was 18. So I was like, I didn't speak to my parents for years,
Uh-huh.
because they weren't about that. And my siblings as well. It wasn't until I had my first child we kind of started speaking again. So this was already like almost 10 years into the industry.
Uh-huh.
And so after that, I think that's when they kind of realized, she's not like on crack. So
Yeah.
she has a home. At the time I had a husband, I had a family, and I was still in the industry. And they're like, okay. I think it changed their perspective because they thought, I was gonna like go down a bad path.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
realize I'm actually somewhat normal. So I think it changed their mind. And then when I started doing online OnlyFans, by then they weren't phased. They're
Yeah.
like, whatever, this is Shay.
Yeah, and I could relate having grown up in a Filipino American household, Catholic, church every Sunday. Filipino parents are typically a little more strict than your typical American family, so I know exactly what you're talking about. But at the end of the day, I think as we get older, they'll just learn to accept us for who we are, what we do. This industry isn't all bad people. You know, there
Yeah,
it's still like a 9 to 5. We wake up, we do our thing. We have to work hard. So it's like any other job. It's just not as respected as your typical 9 to 5. But I've met some of the greatest people that work in this industry, smartest people, hardworking people, and just good people like yourself.
totally. I feel like it's more of like a 9 to 9.
Well, yeah. I mean, as you know, like I said, I see you on social media. You're at it all day long, and I'm pretty sure you see me online all the time too. But as you probably know, our
our first TP account got banned at 240,000 followers, which
Mhm.
was doing great. And then I started another one recently, and that got banned last week. So, um,
Really? Last week?
yeah. So there's no real TP account right now. I'm just using my Mr. C account for TP at the moment.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, because I know you were following us, and you show a lot of support by
Well, I
liking.
believe, right?
Yeah, yeah. But so is this your first Instagram account, or have you gotten banned already?
I have not. Oh, knock on
Not,
head.
yeah, sorry, I should have never said the B
Oh,
word.
okay. I have not got banned yet, but I think because I've been banned on TikTok 3 times already, I kind of like know how to manipulate Instagram a little bit. I have probably 10, 15 violations on Instagram, but they all happened when I first started, like during the pandemic. It was like 10 in a row,
Yeah.
to promote the OF link. And
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't do that.
now I can. They so far. Oh gosh. Watch, I go back. I have no account. Knock on
Mr. C is bad luck.
head.
No, but as you know, you get a majority of your followers are gonna love you, but you also get some followers that are haters and just want to mess with you all day long. I don't know about if you get a lot of those, but we sure do. I don't
Yeah.
know if you ever saw me arguing with people in the comment section, but yeah, we get a lot of hate.
Oh yeah. But I think no matter what we do, people will hate. Like when I first started, I was really thin, right? I
Uh-huh.
was probably like 110 pounds. And people would tell me, oh, you're fat, you're fat, you're fat, whatever, right? Now that I'm like 160 pounds, people still tell me I'm fat. I'm like, you know what? I'll be fat no matter what to you. So at this point, embrace it.
Hey, if you don't like it, keep scrolling, right?
Yeah, I'm your lechon mommy. Give
There
me
you go.
a
But I think it's obvious where that weight went. I mean, probably the biggest Filipino poet online is yours, I must admit.
Really? Oh,
Oh,
thank
I mean, I see it all the time, on Twitter and Instagram, and it covers my whole screen in a good way.
you. Are you screening me?
Oh no.
I hope so.
So, being Filipina, do you think Filipinas get extra judgment just due to the fact that they're Filipina from their family and friends?
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, because I mean, I can't really tell you how your typical American white black family and friends would react. I could tell you how Filipinos would, but I feel like Filipinos are a little more judgmental than other. And the fact that Filipinos are typically more religious, and just going back home in the Philippines, if back in the days you could wear a short skirt and automatically you're called a pokpok.
Mhm.
So, but nowadays I think times have changed, and more women are wearing bikinis and thongs at Boracay and at the beaches. So, I think times are changing.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of the judgment stems from religion as
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But at the same time, although we have a very judgy culture, the people
Yeah.
always judging, oh, what is she wearing and stuff like that. We're also, I feel like we're the funniest people too.
Oh,
Like
for sure.
I feel like we are like we invented dad jokes. Our nursery rhymes are like isa dalawa tatlo yung
Yeah.
tatlo kalbo. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Oh
what
man, I feel like actually Filipinos are some of the dirtiest when it comes to jokes. If only Americans could hear some of the jokes that happen at the table when all the titos are drinking. They're a little out of line sometimes.
Oh yeah.
But sense of humor is definitely there when it comes to Filipinos.
And the singing, of course.
Of course, I mean it ain't a party without the magic, Mike.
Yep. That's how I don't know how to speak a lot of Tagalog. I probably know more Spanish than Tagalog, but I learned how to speak Tagalog by singing Lea Salonga songs. Uh,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's one way to learn.
and Lea Salonga songs. That's all I know.
So do you want to give us a sample?
No.
No, no, Mr. C, we're not doing
No.
that. But I had to learn Tagalog myself because growing up I didn't actually speak it, but when I went back to the Philippines for high school, I had to actually concentrate and actually learn just so I can communicate with my friends and everyone. But through the songs, through just listening to Tagalog music really helped.
Yes.
So Yeah, especially on the karaoke, where you can see the words, and it's pretty much, a way to it's a way to learn the language through karaoke.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Phonetically, and a lot of the words are really long and they have like
Yeah,
20 consonants. So
yeah, yeah. So about your content, what kind of content do you enjoy creating the most? What kind of niche?
I like a lot of taboo stuff.
The stepmom, right?
Stepmom, like taboo and somewhat blasphemous stuff.
Uh-huh.
So, a lot of stepmom, a lot of SPH, like humiliation.
Okay.
Love humiliation. I love being mean to people. I love it,
In
but like, in a nice way.
a nice way, yeah, of course.
A nice way. I love blasphemy stuff is one of my favorite things. But just mainly like humiliation's my favorite.
Yeah. It's also funny because you know how every year Pornhub puts out stats, and one of the top search terms in California was Asian stepmom.
Really?
Yeah, well, I guess since California probably has the highest population of Asians across the country, I'm pretty sure that's probably one of the reasons. I don't know. I kind of said it on our podcast one day, that perhaps here in California a lot of Asians want to bang their Asian stepmom. I mean,
Yeah, I have a lot of people that when they request customs, they
uh-huh.
request that, and it's not because they are Asian, but it's because they had a best friend who was Filipino and they had a crush on their mom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of that.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you get a lot of interesting requests for what do you call that? Privates or just requests from your fans? Customs, sorry, customs.
Yes. Oh yeah.
What's some of the craziest stuff you had requested?
Oh my goodness. I have some interesting things like I did this clown video, which was interesting. And so I would walk around and disappear and giggle the whole time.
Uh-huh.
I do a little bit of twerking, but I tell people don't ask me to twerk. I'm 43. I don't want to shake my I feel like a total auntie, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't want to hurt my back, right?
After you have to like amen your auntie, you know?
Yeah, monopole.
But I that one was interesting. I get a lot of food stuff. People want to see me eat food.
Uh,
What is something that's to me that's people think like fart things are off the wall, but to me
uh,
that's like normal. You
yeah.
know, you got to ask me something weird, like this guy asked me to like eat a sandwich, and it had to be a particular sandwich. I enjoy him very much because he pops up when I'm hungry.
There you go. Perfect. You get to eat and get paid for it.
Yeah, and it's got to be exactly turkey, ham, tomato, lettuce, and it's got to be orange American cheese on white bread. It was like a particular order and a particular way, and I have to hold it with two hands, not one.
Not one, not one.
Yeah. But it comes up when I'm hungry. I'm like, oh yeah, we gonna eat
There
today.
you go. I'm pretty sure you stay pretty busy on OF, right? I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
get a lot of messages. Do you do dick ratings? Because I know that has become a thing in the last 3, 4, 5 years, or maybe even longer. Who knows? I don't have an OF account, so I couldn't tell you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I
do you,
love ratings. Mostly degradings though.
okay, degrading ratings. So do you get to see, as I mentioned, I don't have an OF account, or neither do we. But do you get to see where a lot of your subscribers come from, or are located? Do they show that in the stats?
They do, but I haven't checked lately, but I know they are predominantly US. And
Okay.
then in the US, it would be LA,
Really?
Vegas. Um, and then around the world, I get a lot in Canada.
Canada.
And that's all I remember was Canada, some in the Philippines, but not as much as Canada.
I'm curious, do you get Filipino subscribers from the Philippines?
I do, yeah.
Oh, so they actually do pay for content. Interesting enough.
Yeah, I haven't had any extremely long-term ones. I actually do have people that are subscribed to me that have been my customers since I was 18 years old.
Wow, talk about being devoted, right?
Right. Like they've been there through two husbands. I'm like, all right, maybe I should commit. Like, I don't know.
Exactly. So do you like notice the differences in how fans from different countries treat you or interact with you? Like are Americans more straightforward or are Canadians more shy? Like do you see the trend?
Um, no, I
Or
don't.
everyone's just like, I know what I want, give me what I want, right?
Yeah, it's I mean, I feel like people in other countries seem to want to chat more, for
Uh,
sure. Um,
okay.
I feel like a lot of Americans are like, for the most part, they like to chat, but a lot of them just don't want to be bothered as much.
Okay.
They like they sub for years but don't chat.
Just like leave me alone. I just want to watch your content kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So if you could change one thing about how society sees OnlyFans creators, what would it be? Or even just adult content creators, not just OF creators, like anyone in the industry.
I would like them to see us as people. That would
Yeah,
be nice. I understand that a lot of bad seeds make us look bad
of
for sure
course.
with social media. I mean, everything is about clout. So I would like also on our end to stop being like too clout chasey with some things. Like I've seen some things I'm like, why do that? But
Yeah.
also, but to be seen as human as well would be nice.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, we still work hard at what we do. It's still a normal job. So yeah, I totally agree with you.
I think also being in this industry is not as seedy and like creepy as it used to be.
Uh-huh.
Back in the days, it was a little bit different. Um, I feel like now because a lot of us do have OF and we have
Yeah.
to manage ourselves, we are in control of the people we are surrounded with and our surroundings, and I love that very much.
And it's funny you say that too, because it's like probably 20 years ago, the typical person would never ever meet anyone that works in the adult industry now, just due to the fact that a shitload of people are doing OnlyFans. But again, it doesn't mean that they're doing hardcore. Some of them are just doing PG content because I mean anybody can have OnlyFans. It's really up to you how what you want to do, right?
Right, some
Um,
people can do lewds, and then I know
yeah,
people that do like multiple gangbangs a week, so it's like whatever. But
yeah.
all in all, we're all the same, having coffee together at Starbucks.
There you
So
go. Yeah. At the end of the day, we log off and we still have to live our lives, right?
Mhm, exactly.
So what's your guilty pleasure when you're not working?
Oh my goodness. And a lot of people probably know this, like if they've followed me for a while, but I'm a big Law and Order SVU fan.
Law and Order, huh?
I love that show. I've seen every season, at least three or four, maybe five times. I can tell you who killed who at the end of every show. I'm just like, oh, game changer. It's actually the dad, or it
Uh,
was the mom or something like that. And people are like, wow. I went to New York, and I was like so happy eating a freaking falafel like next to what looked like the SVU department. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm living my dream.
I know the feeling. I've been a big fan of All American. I don't know if you ever heard
I
of the.
love All American.
Really, we gotta like chat like after this about because I'm so pissed. Did you watch the last episode yet of the last?
I haven't caught up with this season, but I freaking love All American.
Okay, I won't spoil it for you. But yeah, I'm kind of annoyed, but yeah, I just hope another series is in the making.
But it wouldn't be a good show if you weren't annoyed, because that means it affected you.
Exactly. Oh yeah, for like the last how many months, like that was my routine. I lay down and just fall asleep to it, and then wake up the next day wherever I left off. We'll watch it again.
Yep.
So, what advice would you give to other folks that are thinking about getting into the adult industry or starting an OF account?
Um, I would say be prepared to be to market yourself. I have a lot of people ask me this and they almost always fail, unfortunately.
Uh,
But what happens is people don't realize that just because you're out there, and you're boomba, you're
uh-huh.
boomba, um,
Exactly.
doesn't mean you're gonna make money.
Yeah.
You really have to market yourself and you have to market yourself creatively and try to stick out. Try to niche down as much as you can. And yeah, that's with anything though. Like nowadays, I also have a license to do hair, and I would hate to start doing that nowadays because you also have to market yourself in
Exactly.
a social media way. You have to be your own editor, photographer, all of that. So be prepared for that.
Yeah,
And
because you're right, because I feel like a lot of chicks or a lot of just anyone gets into, will start an OnlyFans and think that, well, I'll throw up a couple videos, throw up a couple pics, and boom, I'm gonna be rich overnight. But they don't understand that there's, I don't know, maybe thousands and hundreds of thousands of models that are on OF. So everyone's kind of battling for the subs, right? So you have to work really hard at, like yourself. You're on Instagram, daily. You're promoting yourself on X, like ourselves. You have to, promote certain times of the day to target certain audiences. It's a full-time job, just getting your name out there and bringing awareness to your brand or to yourself.
exactly, especially with the popularity of feet stuff. I had so many friends like, really? You just put your foot there and like,
Uh-huh.
you make $1 million? I'm like, yes and no. You got to niche down the foot. Like, are you gonna have like natural nails? Are you gonna have like pedicures? Like, are you gonna like step on cake? Are you gonna eat it off your toes? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, yeah, because I'm pretty sure just taking pics, and just simple feet pics isn't gonna do it, right? You're not gonna make millions doing that.
No.
You got to find ways to get creative on social media, because you gotta attract fresh eyes every day. So yeah, I totally agree with you. So where can everyone listening find your lovely content?
You can find it in your dad's phone. You can
Was that you that said that before on social media?
maybe.
Yeah,
That's where you can find me on Father's Day.
there you go.
Instagram, Shay San Juan. On Twitter X, I think I'm Shay San Juan also. I think no matter what, I am Shay San Juan, except TikTok, I'm like fashionably funniest. Um, because it's third account. It was like funny, funnier, funniest. And the next one's gonna be like Shay Finito, because I'll
There
be
you
done.
go. Well, anyways, I'll be sure to tag you when I put up an Instagram reel or up on X. Pretty sure all our Filipino lovers are gonna enjoy your content and would love to subscribe to your OnlyFans. I highly recommend it. I'm telling you guys, biggest Filipina puwet on the web, right here with Shay.
Oh yeah, all that dinuguan. Anong dinuguan mo?
There
That's
you go.
my ass food truck. That's what.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Shay, is there anything you want to tell our listeners before I let you go?
No, just find me, hit me up, and I'll be there.
There you go. Well, Shay, again, I was really excited and I had a great time talking to you because I've been following you forever and I honestly love your content. So it's been a very special day today.
I love yours too. Usually when I'm at night and getting in the mood, I scroll down your feed. Like I don't even have to go to any other places. Like I scroll and watch the videos that you guys post, and even in like some of the videos are short, like
Uh-huh.
I finish shorter. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still trying to get really creative because we're now on YouTube as well. And I'll tell you this, are you on YouTube?
I have an account, but I haven't done anything on there. But I would like to start. I just get so scared on like what to do. But I've been seeing a lot of friends and adult go on there, and I'm like, maybe I can do it again.
I'll tell you this,
Yeah.
Shorts, YouTube Shorts is the way to go. 4.6 million views in the last 30 days.
Yes.
It's
Heck yeah.
yeah, it's all in shorts because I feel like all these platforms they're all battling for your time entertainment of like 30 seconds to a minute. So it's like even on Pornhub, they have the Pornhub shorties now. So shorts is the way to go. That's where everyone is
Yeah.
putting their eyes. So if you think about getting back on YouTube, put up you could take your videos from Instagram and just upload them to YouTube, and I'm pretty sure they'll get hits.
Do you change the settings or something? Because
Well, I do something a little different for YouTube. All I do is just I'll clip a part of our pickups, before the hardcore, and I'll resize it to 1080 by 1920 so it fits perfect on, on YouTube Shorts, and then I'll just put some kind of stupid title that people are gonna click and want to watch. So You know, I guess it's funny because I can say the dumbest thing, like Aussie guy picks up Filipina, or Pinay goes with stranger from the US, and people tend to like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I would put like you never guess where he puts his Vegemite.
There you go. That's the kind of stuff that people like, man. And they'll click it.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right, Shay. Well, it's been a great time. Again, I want to thank you for joining us here today, and I can't wait to get this published.
Yeah, same here. This was fun.
All right, Shay. You take care.
All right, you too.
Bye bye.